comes as no surprise that this bill did pass very easily through Danish Parliament. Highly controversial, coming under a lot of intense scrutiny and criticisms by groups like Amnesty International. But those who drafted and supported it say that it is really the only way to protect Denmark and provide for those who have already been seeking asylum here to be able to properly integrate them into society. Now, we are joined by the government spokesman, Jackob Ellemann-Jensen. Now, at this stage, a lot of criticism, a lot, as you have said yourself, misunderstanding when it comes to this bill, especially in terms of how Denmark is going to be perceived perhaps in the international community. What is your initial message to those who are criticizing the government?
I think that one needs to understand two things basically before answering this question. That Denmark, we are taking our part in the world regarding this refugee crisis. We are one of the 5 key contributors of development aid in the world. We provide an active line against Daesh. We provide very much assistance in the areas affected by the war in Syria. If you compare states, the US would have received 1 million refugees last year alone if they had received the same number as Denmark pro capita. Second of all, Denmark is a universal welfare state. That means we provide education from preschool to university, paid by the government. We provide care for the elderly, and we provide universal health care. The one demand that we do set up is that if you have the means to provide for yourself shelter and food, then you should do so. This applies for Danish citizens. Now it also applies to refugees.
Sure, except the key issue within this bill is not necessarily the confiscation of cash and valuables. One of the issues that organizations are calling especially cruel is the fact that you've extended an individual's ability to apply for family reunification from 1 year all the way up to 3 years. Why do something that is that drastic to deter people from coming here?
This is not a measure that is put in to deter people from coming here. This is because we know that the number of people who come to Denmark has an impact on our ability to integrate people in the Danish society, and it has an impact on our ability to continue having a welfare society in Denmark. Therefore, if every one of the refugees coming to Denmark should have family unification at once or after 1 year, then we would receive 3 times as many people as we do today. This would have a serious impact. So we need, in order to treat people decent, we need to limit the number of people coming to Denmark.
And of course, there is the debate as to how you're going about trying to limit this number. Now, what about the argument that some of the opposition members have put forward in that Denmark is basically bypassing this bill, just trying to find a quick fix solution for itself as opposed to trying to wait for, albeit difficult to implement and come by, solution that is going to be pan-European, because this isn't just a Danish problem?
I very much agree that this is not a Danish problem. It's not something that we can solve in our cabinet. This is something that Europe and the world needs to stand together in order to solve this. The issue is that our government needs to take care of Denmark until we get a European solution, until we get a worldwide solution. And Denmark is more attractive than countries around us, and we need to balance this so that we can accept the people who are in need of help, but so that we also protect our country. You need to understand as well, these people, they drop in from 1 minute to the other. These are not people that are chosen from refugee camps and go through a long procedure as many other countries. These are people who stand on our doorstep, and we need also to secure our country.
Great, thank you very much. One of the other issues also within this bill has been the potential that it could perhaps fuel tensions between the population and those who are already here. Either way, it has really brought Denmark into the international spotlight, and also within the country itself stirred up quite a debate as to what was Danish identity, what is it today, and what is it going to be in the future. Arwa Damon, CNN, Copenhagen.